All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get started. So, welcome for those of you who are here live. So, let me just go ahead and start off. I want to say welcome, everybody. And my name is Sarah Hyde, for those of you who don't know me. But I just want to say thank you for taking the time out of your busy day, for taking your business seriously, and for showing up here live today. Because I'm sure you guys know that this recording is not free. So I want you guys to make sure that you pay close attention and take really, really, really good notes as I show you the secrets, the science, the system that's going to supercharge your sales up to 300% in less than 90 seconds. And I'm going to show you guys the secret behind why your customer buys. Why do people buy? So like I said before, my name is Sarah Hyde. Now you only get one of us today, so Sharon's actually wasn't able to be here today. But you have me, and if you have never heard of me before, let me share with you a few details about myself. I am actually a licensed and certified sales trainer with the Code Breaker Technologies. And as well as I've actually worked with several multi-million-dollar earners, including Sherry Tree, as well as Sandy Krakowski, just to name a few. And I currently teach sales professionals and businesses all around the country. And I've also developed and engineered my own personal products. So you guys, I know what I'm talking about. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in, you guys. So I want you to stop and imagine for a moment what your life would look like if you were able to increase your income, increase your revenue by up to 300%. What would your life look like if you knew why your customer bought? Now, if that's possible, I want you to think about what would stop you from making that happen. Now, I'm going to spend the rest of this time explaining, showing, and teaching you exactly how to make this happen for you with secrets and science mixed in. Okay, so let's start off with a little reality, right? So according to Salesforce.com, they actually revealed some very important stats, and I think it's important as business owners and entrepreneurs that we don't just bury our heads in the sand, right? So sometimes it's easy to just focus on the grind, and we lose sight of things, and we stop learning new things, and we're only focused on one thing. So let's take a look at this. So there's 67% of business owners and entrepreneurs miss quota. You guys, that's 2/3 of you are not meeting your target for 2019. Your New Year's resolution, financially, you're not meeting. And then there's another 87% who don't feel prepared to have an appointment with their customer or prospect. That's 9 out of 10 of you guys. And those are not good stats at all. Now, the worst of all, in my opinion, is this one. You see, we're customers. They revealed that 66% of customers feel that they were turned off by a presentation. How many of you think that's a problem, right? Go ahead and raise your hand in the comments box. So the last thing we want to do is put all this time, all this energy, all this marketing, all this effort and dollars, and finally sit down with your prospect that's, number one, willing to sit down with you, right? And then 66% of them say, oh no, it's not for me. So we want to cure this because these numbers are outrageous. Okay? How many of you need to close a sale to get paid? Every entrepreneur and business owner I've ever met. I'm sure you have to close a sale in order to put food on your table. Well, Robert Kiyosaki, I'm sure we all know him, right? He wrote the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Well, one of the things he says is the ability to sell is the number one skill in business. Not the number 2, not the number 3, but selling is the number one skill in business. Guys, if you're in business, you're in sales. And here's the thing. It doesn't matter if you're an employee selling your ideas or collaborating with a team, whether you're a traditional sales professional, whether you're a lover or a spouse, if you're a parent with one or more children. Listen, I had to sell to my dog the other day to just go outside and go to the bathroom because we live in Florida and there's thunderstorms, so he's terrified of going outside. I had to sell him to go outside to go to the bathroom, okay? We are all in sales. And I know some of you might think of sales as sleazy or kind of react when you hear the word sales. So let me just change the verbiage for you guys. If you don't like sales, think of it as influence, right? Sales is the ability to influence. So he goes on to say that if you cannot sell, that you shouldn't even be in business. Right? Oh my gosh, that hurts. Right? Because there's so many of us who don't like to sell out there. Right? So, like I said, we're going to transform that into influence. Okay? What if you could influence more customers? What if you could influence more people to buy your product? Because you see, influence is one of those things that we want to be really, really freaking good at. And I'm going to show you exactly the secret and the science of how to do that. All right, so here's the challenge for most of us business owners out there. What we discovered was that we've been brainwashed. We've believed the greatest lies ever told. And everyone gets told this. And we get told this so much that we just assume that it's true. Right? So let me ask you this. How many of you have ever heard in the sales business that sales is a numbers game? How many of you heard that? Raise your hand in the comments. Right? Outrageous. Now, I'm going to ask you to fill in the blank for this next one. So if you fill in the blank, you've been told the lie as well. So how many of you have ever been told that in order to get more yeses, you have to go out and get more what? No's. Guys, it's a lie. The truth is, and you guys are smart, so you guys will get this. In order to get more yeses, you actually have to go out and get more yeses, right? I mean, doesn't that just make sense? So, believe it or not, but the past few years, my mom and Sharon and I have studied efficiently how to get a yes. What is the science and the system in order to get more yeses in the sales process rather than going out and getting more no's? But we wanted to do without any manipulation whatsoever, without any aggressive sales tactics. No, we didn't want to strong arm people to buy something they didn't want, right? I mean, how do you gracefully get your customers to say yes? How many of you would like to just say yes, right? So this is really cool. This is actually the science that's revealed this to us. So let me just jump in here real quick. The secret, right? So I hope you guys are taking really good notes because I'm going to say some things here in a few minutes that's really going to impact your business and it's going to impact your life. Now, sales, it's not a numbers game, right? So what is it? My friends, it's a people's game. Sales is not a numbers game. It's a people's game. So when we do business with people, how do we gracefully get other human beings? How do we create amazing relationships? How do we develop something called a relationship currency, where people just love doing business with you and they want to genuinely do business with you? How do you get them to say yes? Well, Brian Tracy goes on to say that all business is a people's business. And that is exactly what we're going to focus on here today. Okay, so now the question I want to ask you guys is it possible for one idea to change the world? I'm sure the answer that you're going to say is yes, right? I mean, we can name 100 things that have changed the world. Now, the next question I want to ask you is it possible that this idea can change your world? And this revolutionary idea is a methodology called BANK. BANK is actually personality based. So what does that mean? It means that it's rooted in the basics, the basic principle of the 4 personality types. But it's got a very powerful twist when applied to your business. And it's actually designed to skyrocket your revenue. And when it's applied to your relationships, it's designed to impact and connect your relationships better than ever before, you guys. And BANK is people focused, which is, like I said, it's a secret to business, but it's also the secret to life. And of course, BANK is profit driven in business, but in life, it's purpose driven. So here we're thinking much bigger in our mission. We don't want to just go out and help small business owners like yourself make more money. We actually want to go out and change the world. So let me just go ahead and jump into and share you a story, the story behind Bank. So this is a before and after story, and this is about somebody named Sherry Tree. And she is a founder and CEO of the methodology that I'm going to teach you today. And let me just show you her first ever year in sales, ever. After reading the legendary book of Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, she wanted to jump into sales. She knew that's what her path was. So she jumped in. She got into sales. But here's the thing. Her first year ever, she only made $700. In 365 days, she only made $700, you guys. Of course, she knew she had to learn more. So she read all the books. She listened to all the audio programs. She attended all the seminars. She took all the courses. She hired all the coaches, all with the money she didn't have, right? Because she only made $700 that month or that year. And guess what? Over 5 years of doing that, she was able to increase her income up to $72,000. Hey, it's improvement, right? She's now a better salesperson. I mean, she's not the best. She started winning incentive trips and they started celebrating, but she didn't feel successful, you guys. Looking at herself and who she was in $30,000 in credit card debt from financing her way to her success in the industry. She was still driving a salvaged BMW so she could look the part. And she was renting an apartment for $800 a month. She couldn't even qualify for a homeowner's loan because of her unstable income. And so she just had the thought, she was thinking about Robert Kiyosaki. And something that he said is that stop taking advice from people more messed up than you. She felt like a hypocrite. Here she was selling financial services when she herself was in such poor shape financially. So from this point, she was like, okay, I got to do things differently. From this day forward, I am going to do things differently. I can either go back to my corporate job and do the 9 to 5 and have a boss and be miserable, or I can pave my way through it, be the salmon that swims upstream and just continue to learn and delve into this thing called being an entrepreneur or sales professional. And so I'm sure you can guess what happened. She stayed with the entrepreneurialism. And she had this thought. She was like, am I broken or is the system broken? I mean, I'm sure we all have that thoughts, right? Like we think of business, we understand our product. Why is it so hard to have success in growing a business? You understand your product. Why doesn't everybody else? Right? It just seems so much harder than it actually is. And so what she realized was that the system was broken. It wasn't her. And she started to create this thing called Bank. And she started to use it in her business. And you know what happened? After she reverse engineered it, and she was proving now that sales was not a numbers game because it's a people's game. You guys remember what I keep saying? Her numbers skyrocketed. Because you see, the very next year, she earned over $500,000 in commissions. Holy crap. That's a 700% jump or 695% jump for my knowledge people. But you see, that's not just the exciting part, because only 3 years later, she earned over $1 million in 1 year. That's a 1,400% increase, or 1,388% increase for my knowledge people out there in just over 3 years. Guys, that's an amazing before and after story. And of course, like I said, the rest is history. But of course, the media took notice. And here's actually a picture of Sherry on the cover of a magazine called Success from Home magazine. Her dreams were finally coming true. She finally became the successful entrepreneur that we all dream of being financially free, never having to worry about money again. She finally was there. And of course, obviously her friends and colleagues started to take notice, and they kept asking her. They're like, share us your secrets. Share us. We want to get the same results you did. So they started asking her to speak on stages and share her secrets all over the world, across Asia, Africa, Europe, all across North America. She was traveling all over the place. And then she started sharing stages with millionaires, people like her mentor, Robert Kiyosaki. She started sharing the stages with billionaires like Sir Richard Branson. And she was presented with this incredible opportunity, all because of this 4-letter acronym called BANK. Something so powerful, so ingenious was locked inside this concept that it literally had the power to transform business. But not only that, it also had the ability to transform lives all over the globe, you guys. But of course, it didn't stop there. Because in 2013, she was actually invited to share her secret as a special guest lecturer at Harvard University. It was a master's class. It was a master's business class of innovation and entrepreneurship, and they wanted her to come and speak. And then in 2014, she was also invited to speak at the University of California, Berkeley, to share the same exact secrets. They wanted to know too. It couldn't just be Harvard, right, guys? And then in 2016, this is so exciting, Dr. Ryan Howell, PhD, completed formal studies at the San Francisco State University, publishing conclusive results that this system predicts buying behavior. BANK is so powerful. You guys, did you hear that? BANK is so powerful in the sales process that it could literally predict someone's buying behavior in less than 90 seconds. Imagine having a tool that you could use in the sales process to predict buying behavior for your prospect or your customer in less than 90 seconds. And if this actually worked, what it could do to transform your business, your sales, your lifestyle. And this is exactly what I'm going to reveal to you today, you guys. Oh, I'm so excited. And then Einstein has this quote, you guys. So he says that any fool can complicate things, but it takes a genius to simplify them. And while Sherry isn't considered a genius necessarily for her IQ, but she is because she simplified a way to get a yes instead of a no faster than anyone has ever done before. And then she systemized it in a way where she didn't just benefit from herself, but she was able to transform and transfer that skill to us. You and me, everyday people, everyday business owners, entrepreneurs, we can have the same skill, a lifetime skill that makes getting a yes 100 times easier than ever before. How many of you are actually willing to do this? How many of you want to learn this? You guys raise your hands. I know, it's so exciting. Like, this stuff is incredible. So this is what it is, how it works and why it works so consistently and so reliably is because it's based on science, hardcore science. And people ask all the time, let me ask you, do you think selling is an art or a science? How many of you think it's an art? Go ahead and put in the comments below if you think it's an art, right? A couple of you. Now, how many of you think it's a science? Go ahead and put science down in the comments box, right? A couple of you. Now, trick question here, but how many of you think it could be both? Yeah, that makes more sense, right, guys? Well, you're right. It is both. Here's the catch, though. You see, selling is only an art when you know the science. And the ones who know the science are the ones who make it look like art. Does that make sense? So what I want to do is show you the science behind it. And what Sherry did was able to simplify it down to a paint by numbers grid. Now, you can paint like a Picasso if you had the paint by numbers that literally told you what color, what brushstroke to put in what box. Does that make sense? So selling is easy when you know the science. So the problem is, no one ever deconstructed the science in a way where we could teach it to you. And so you could so you could have been subject to playing the numbers game your entire professional career, your entire sales career. So if you're sitting there thinking, I'm looking for a better way, a faster way, an easier way, this is it. This is it, you guys. So what does BANK actually stand for? Well, BANK stands for Blueprint, Action, Nurturing, and Knowledge. And this is based off a science called personality science. Now, just so you know, Sherry did not invent this. Believe it or not, this dates back thousands of years, all the way back to Hippocrates, the father of medicine, who figured out that the entire human race is divided up into 4 different groups. And he, actually in his practice, would treat patients differently based on what group they were in. Don't you just find that fascinating? It's so interesting. So obviously this was invented thousands of years ago, before Google. Imagine that. I'm pretty sure they didn't have refrigerators back then. Now, he called it something different. He called it the theory of the 4 temperaments. And so if you fast forward to today, there's been a lot of personality assessments that's, born out of this concept of people are different. I'm sure you've taken several of one. I know I've taken a bunch of them. And they're all over the place. There's DISC, there's temperament sorter, there's MBTI, color code, animals, Myers-Briggs, what's another? The Kolbe score, all kinds of different ones. And I remember the first one I actually took, I learned all about myself and I was so fascinated by it. But I was frustrated because none of these programs were actually helping me make more money. None of them, right? None of them were helping me close more sales. And not one of them helped me get a yes versus a no in the sales process. Show of hands, how many of you have taken some sort of a test? How many of you have taken some sort of personality test? Go ahead and hit the little raise your hand button in the comments button. Right, yeah, a lot of you. Now, pretty much the majority of the human race has taken some kind of one of these personality tests. Now, why do we do these things? To learn about who? Ourselves. Our favorite person. Our favorite subject is ourselves. We want to learn all about us. But how many of you just love to get a 40-page report about yourself, about me, about you, right? It's so fascinating. We love it. And see, Sherry had this thought. She's like, wait a minute. If 2,500 years ago, a guy figured out that the whole human race could be divided up into 4 different groups, I wonder if people make buying decisions differently, if people buy differently. And I wonder if there was some way that we could get more yeses. And that I wonder if what makes someone say yes makes another person say no. I mean, do you guys think this theory is possible? And that's the theory that started this whole thing. So what happened was that Sherry reverse engineered personality science, and instead of an assessment about me or us or you, let's just say, to be honest, your customer doesn't care about your personality type. I mean, I've never had in my whole career, I never had a customer come up to me and be like, wait, before we talk, I need you to tell me your personality code. No, they don't care, right? But we care about our customer's personality code, So what if it's different? What if it's a different experience if we knew each person's different personality type? Do you guys really think that that's possible for people to buy differently based on different decisions? So what Sherry did was she reverse engineered it and created the world's first personality assessment that was not based on psychology like every other assessment. Instead, it was the first one based off biology. B-U-Y-ology. The science of buying behavior. You see, at the end of the day, psychology measures, whether you're an introvert, extrovert. Who cares? Right? I mean, what we were trying to figure out what triggers the yes and what tripwires the no. Now, all things equal, we went and applied this concept in business. Now, How many of you are willing to double down and say, you know what? I would bank on a program based on biology to figure out what triggers the yes and what tripwires the no in less than 90 seconds. How many of you in your gut and say, they got something. They really got something. So don't say naive in this process. And I do appreciate you guys coming out here with an open mind, because obviously there are two types of people, who we can't help and who we won't help. And that's the ignorant, the ones that choose to keep their head buried in the sand, and the arrogant, the ones who already know it all, right? So if you're anywhere in between there's hope for you. So we can take you to a whole new dimension. So the BANK program, the acronym, like I said before, it's blueprint, action, nurturing, and knowledge. Become our interpretation of biology. It reconstructs in a completely different way. And I have people come up to me and say, Sarah and Sharon, isn't BANK like DISC? Isn't BANK like MBTI? Isn't BANK like blah, blah, blah? Isn't BANK? Yes. What I want to say is, yes, it is. Because if you can take a program like DISC and you can take a program like BANK and you can put them together. And my response is that they're exactly the same, only completely different. What made it completely different was the twist on psychology versus biology. So let's go deeper. What we teach our clients is to crack the personality code of their customer and take it to the bank, your bank. So cracking the code, I like to use the analogy to look at the device on the screen, right? It's called a crypttext. Think of it like a combination of words. So you have cryptology, which is the science of locking up hidden secret information. And then there's codex, which is the written script or scroll that's locked inside the device that has the secret message. And it was made famous by the movie The Da Vinci Code, right? So if you've seen the movie, locked inside this device was written on a little piece of paper was the secret to the Holy Grail. Now, the whole plot of the movie, they're trying to discover the secret to the Holy Grail, and there's only one way to find out. And you have to what? Crack the code. So that's where that marketing term comes from, just so you understand. But the challenge is that this device was booby-trapped. Because if you failed to crack the code correctly, what you cracked instead was the vial of vinegar. And you see, the vinegar would leak out and dissolve the papyrus scroll, leaving you with what? Nothing. So the analogy that I use, and from now on, I want you to imagine from this point forward that every time you sit down with your customer or your prospect, every time you generate a new lead and you meet them, I want you to imagine every single one of them has an invisible crypttext. You can't see it. It's tucked away in their purse or their pocket. But I want you to imagine that what is locked inside that device on your customer is a little tiny piece of paper. And on that piece of paper, I want you to imagine if it showed you exactly what to say to that customer in order to get a yes at the end of your presentation. How many of you would desperately want to crack that code? And yet, how many times in business, every day in business, try to crack the code, and instead, all we do is crack the vial of vinegar? And you watch sales group, and you watch your sales go up in flames, literally. It dissolves just like that. And they walk away with a no. Has that ever happened to you guys before? Because I know it's happened to me. So 2 questions I want to ask you guys is, how often is this happening to you? And what is it costing you? How many of you think that, those no's could be costing you a fortune, right? Yes. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some math here real quick. So before we do that, Tony Robbins says, let your prospect determine your presentation. Now, if you read that slowly, what it told me was, wait a minute. If there are 4 different types of people, how many presentations should we have? How many presentations should we have if there's 4 different types of people? 4, right? But in reality, how many do we actually have? We only have 1. We have 1 presentation. And they expect us to go out and deliver the 1 presentation. It's the only presentation, and hoping that you'll get a yes. And if you don't get a yes, they're going to keep telling you to play the numbers game and to go out and go for no. Because mathematically, unfortunately, the odds are against us, right? Okay, so watch how this works. So using the personality science, which we now proved to you, there are 4 different types of people, right? So everyone has a dominant personality type, and it doesn't matter what it is, because just imagine that your dominant personality type, when you go out and you connect and you match your personality type, someone you like, you're probably going to get a what? A yes, right? Well, how many of you have ever connected with somebody where at the end of your first appointment you think, man, they could be my new best friend? Have you ever done that? That's the easy one. That's the one you're going to get a yes. Now you see, this is the one you guys are closing. You were representing 1 out of the 4 groups, which means your closing rate's what? 25%. Sound familiar? Well, then it occurred to me that, if I'm presenting my personality type, what happens when I present to the other 3 personality types? Chances are, what am I going to get? A no, right? It's a 3 out of 4 of them. And all I said was that mathematically, I was leaving 75% of my business on the table. And simply by delivering the wrong presentation to the other 3 personalities. Does that make sense for you guys? Oh, and by the way, to add insult to injury, I realized that I was literally spoon feeding my competitions at a rate of 3 to 1. So every single time these people said no, every single time they said no, where do you think your customers go? They go to your competitor. Does that make sense? So think of the last year's income, right? The last 12 months, 1 year of income. Write that down. Write that down on your notes. Okay, for easy math, we're gonna do it together. Let's say you made $100,000 last year. Now I want you to triple that number. Triple it. So what? $100,000 become $3,000, right? $300,000. So whatever your personal number is, write it down. Triple your original. So then write that down, and I want you to circle the triple number. Is anybody willing to share with me your triple number? It could be 18K, it could be 60K, it could be 720K. It doesn't matter what you circled or tripled, but that's the amount of money that you lost last year by not knowing this science. If you were like, holy crap, like what the heck? Like, how much is not knowing this system costing you? And I say that number tripled, right? Does that make sense? So this is why we're in 100 countries and rapidly growing, because we're taking you, those of you who believe that this theory could work for you. We have massively documented that. And you have potential to scope. You guys, this is incredible. What if you could close your customer by simply speaking the right message to them so they say yes on your first or second appointment? How many of you think that's possible? Now, because you learned how to say yes and the science behind getting a yes, and all of a sudden getting a yes is 10 times easier. I mean, let me ask you a question. What do you think is more important, time or money? Both, right? We want to save both. So what I want to do now is actually show you guys how it's possible to increase your sales up to 300%. So we're going to do a little math here. And so I want you to picture here the 4 personality types. So for example, we're going to say that each personality type is so different, and they're so different from each other that it equals speaking a foreign language. So have you ever traveled the country and have you ever like heard of a foreign language? So let's just pretend that the blue right here, right? So the blue is going to be English. And let's assume that this is this is how you naturally speak to your customers on a regular basis. This is the language that you know, right? We're English. We're speaking English. You're understanding me. And I'm not here to improve the game, right? We're just already fluent at it. So without bank, you just keep doing what you're doing. This is your baseline, English. Let's say you meet with a red block, and let's say that person doesn't speak English at all, but they speak French. So if you sat down with them at a Starbucks or your office and you gave them your presentation in English to someone who only speaks French, you guys, do you think they're going to buy with you in the end? No. But what if you had the Rosetta Stone of sales that allowed you to speak these people's code, or let us say, talk to them in French? Right, there's so many times when customers, they just have the courtesy to sit there and hear the entire spiel and listen to your presentation in the wrong language or the wrong code. They're just being polite. And so what do? They nod their head like they're following along, but obviously they don't understand a word you're saying. Right? So is it any surprise to you that in the end the answer is no? Or I need to think about it, or I'll get back to you? Where do you think the no's come from? So if you can now speak French to the person who's speaking French, and you're able to increase your influence above your baseline by what? 100%. So you literally double the amount of language that you can speak. Is this making sense for you guys? So what if you had a third language type? Let's say you meet the yellow block, and they don't speak English, they don't speak French, they speak Romanian. Anybody here speak Romanian, you guys? Well, what if you had the Rosetta Stone and all of a sudden you were speaking in tongue fluently to the person who spoke Romanian? If you spoke Romanian, you'd be like, what? And all of a sudden you increase your influence by 200% above your baseline. Now, everyone see the math? It's not really that hard. No, what if you met the fourth personality type, the K, the green block? And this person is so different. They actually speak Korean. Right? And this person is definitely opposite and definitely not like the other people you've encountered, right? So let this sink in for a moment, okay? So let's say that, the K stands for Korean, and all of a sudden you have the Rosetta Stone and you're speaking fluently in tongue Korean. And the people who know Korean would know exactly what you're saying, whereas everyone else just stares at you like a deer in the headlights. So the whole concept of the whole human race, and there's 7 billion people on the planet, and at least 65 different foreign languages that are spoken, but only one universal language has the power to connect the entire human race. It's Bank. Bank, the language of people. So in other words, the human race only speak in 4 codes. So how many of you would say, you know what? This is worth my career and even my entire lifetime happiness if I simply learned how to communicate in all 4 codes. How many of you think that? If you don't, and you just choose to walk out of here ignorant or arrogant and insist the rest of the world just listen to you and your code, when you speak, you're going to continue to play the numbers game. And you're going to continue to get your butt kicked. Does that make sense for you guys? So this is the concept of how to increase your income by 300% or influence 300% more. And so now the idea is, now that I know the secret, the sales is not a numbers game, it's a people's game. And now that I understand the science and the science of personality, what if you could just get a paint by numbers to know exactly what to say to get the yes every single time? It's almost like cheating, you guys. except it's the most moral, ethical way to communicate with another human being. And I'm going to just give you a quick example here. How many of you, when you get on an airplane and you see those monitors are in the back of your seat in front of you, and the first thing it says is, pick a language. Language, because why else would you want to watch a movie in the wrong code? So what Learning Bank does for today's entrepreneur, today's business owner, is to allow you to learn the language of other people and to speak the code that they understand. The goal would be, if we could train the entire human race, that we could give courtesy back to everyone. Then you could learn what your code is and how to speak the language. And they can speak your native language back to you. So then now it's just one dimension by two-dimensional. So how many of you think you could reduce conflict in the world if you could communicate with each other? That's our greatest mission as a company. We call it one world, one language. So now we have to transfer this skill set package, and that it's digestible, duplicatable, transferable, and scalable across your whole organization, your whole family, all your friends. And so the system is Bank. So for each personality code, we've chosen a color that correlates to things you associate with that personality. So for example, the blueprint, the color is obvious. It's the calming blue. So think like an architectural blueprint, right? The blueprint personality is completely predictable. Everything they do must be inside the box. And so what do the blueprint personalities value? So they value stability. They value structure and systems and planning and processing, predictability, responsibility, duty, rules, credentials, titles, and tradition. And you see, later on, you'll discover how you can learn these values and then I'm going to give you sales tips for each type to help you close more sales in the end. Now, when it comes to greeting each other, blueprints prefer a formal handshake, right? Now, if you're in another culture, whatever that formal greeting would be, some might have a kiss on the cheek, some might be a bow. Whatever that culture's formal greeting is what the blueprints prefer. You see, when people take the Bank training and they apply it immediately and experience incredible results, and quickly too. See, let me tell you about this guy. His name is Jeff Vogan, and he was skeptical at first of our program because he was already successful in his business and he was already closing $350,000 a year in sales. But there's always room for growth, right? So he said, I was skeptical at first, but I followed the step-by-step system and I closed 100% of my next 8 clients. This gave me a track record I could bank on. And of course, after hearing this presentation, Jeff figured that even if Bank could increase his sales by 10%, he would recoup on the cost of the training in no time. So what happened next was when he went home and used our tools, training, and our technologies with his next 8 clients, like he just said, his end result was an additional $50,000 in under 90 days. Even better is that in his first year, he was on track to making $1 million in income. On average, he was making $70,000 to $100,000 per month by simply using our powerful tools in our sales process every single time. Every single time. So the next personality type is action, or A personality. And this color is associated with the action personality type is fiery red. Actions think outside of the box, right? So if you actually look at the graphic on the bottom right-hand corner is a microphone representing the A's, typically, because they like to be on stage. They like to be the center of attention. They like to talk. So we let them. Now, the action personality type, they value freedom, flexibility, spontaneity, action, opportunity, excitement, attention, stimulation, competition, winning, fun, and image. Now, this personality type's completely different from the blueprint values. And if you follow the same sales process with an action type, you will lose the sale. You can't use the same sales tactics for such complete opposite personalities or codes. So the action types, they have a very different set of buying triggers that you need to know exactly what to say and do to close the sale. And you see, in this training, I'm going to teach you exactly what you need to know to close the movers and shakers and millionaire makers. So A's are full of energy, and they prefer a high five or a fist bump over a conservative handshake when it comes to greetings. So Yancey here, she's actually from the United States, and yes, that's actually her real name. She's very A-style. She actually changed her last name so it would be so unique and stand out more. So Yancey unequivocally. Yeah, but believe it or not, Yancey has a master's degree, and she was stuck in a very inside-the-box government job, and she wanted to launch out on her own. She wanted to launch her own business. But the thing is that she needed money to get started, to bridge the gap. Right? I'm sure a lot of you have been in that situation before, are in that situation right now. So before she took this training, she called and wanted to know if bank would speed up the rate of what she could earn money. And we told her, yes, it can. And so after taking that training, Yancey started using the bank methodology at every single customer visit. And she was able to earn $250,000 over 18 months. And remember, this wasn't her full-time job, you guys, but she was able to quit her unfulfilling job and to take her own business to new heights. And of course, like I said, the rest, they say, is history. Now, these next amazing people are our nurturing personality types with a completely different set of values. They're some of the nicest people you will ever meet, and they literally will give you the shirt off their back, you guys. So the color we picked here was going to be a warm, friendly yellow. And we like to say that the nurturers recycle the box, and we use the earthly sunflower as a symbol to represent sunshine and sunflowers and yellow happy faces. They literally have a heart of gold. So our nurturing personality types, what do they value? Well, they value relationships, authenticity, personal growth, significance, teamwork, involvement, community, charity, ethics, harmony, morality, contribution. These individuals care more about making a difference than making a dollar, which means that for these people, you have to take a completely different approach in the sales process. Nurturers have a different set of triggers and tripwires that make or break the sale. If you weren't a nurturer yourself, it's so easy to say the wrong thing and break that vial of vinegar. See, in our training, we're going to teach you the right approach and exactly what to say in order to close the sale. So when it comes to a greeting, what do you think they prefer? Well, they're friendlier, more emotional, more connected. So a hug is a perfect greeting for them. They want the connection. It's important to them. They want to feel your heart. They want to hear your heartbeat. Now, I want to share a quick story with you from a lady named Nani Gomes. And Nani is actually in direct sales and network marketing. So when it comes to sales, Nani fell in love with the product, she fell in love with the people, she fell in love with the purpose, but wasn't making any profit. Not even with a big team, she wasn't making any money. None of them knew how to sell. I don't know if any of you are in direct sales or network marketing now, but I'm sure you know exactly what her pain was. Now, she had one condition, and that was no manipulation whatsoever. And so she came to us and she asked us for help. She said because she loved her product so much, she was willing to do her business for free, but her home was slipping into foreclosure and she wanted to help her team and save her home. And this is exactly what bank is designed to do. So, like I said before, Nani had one condition. She had to know that the system, this bank system, did not involve any kind of manipulation, because it was very important for her. She wanted authenticity and to be genuine with her customers and clients and her team. Fortunately for her, that's the best part of the bank methodology, is that it's the most authentic form of selling that you can have. It's truly about finding what's most important to your customer and what their values are. Instead of the audacity, ignorance, or arrogance of assuming that your prospect wants to experience a presentation based on what you think is best for them. Bank is the first system in the world that allows you to sell to serve based on the value sets of your customer and not your own. So she used our system, and then she became one of the top producers in her company. Within 1 year, she was making a 6-figure income and saving her home. She had earned the brand new BMW company car, and she was nurturing. She wanted to share the system with others so she could give them the same results as she got. So she wanted to know how she could become a certified trainer and teach the system to others. So lucky for her, Bank Code has a certification training program where we teach our trainers how to deliver the bank methodology around the globe. And Nani became a certified bank trainer. She loved it. And her first weekend, she shared bank with others. She made $32,000 in commissions from our company by simply just sharing the system. So, of course, if this is for you and you're interested in becoming a trainer or attending a network or have a huge network of people who could use a sales training like this, there's a potential here for a new source of revenue for you. So whatever you want. So pay your bills, send your kids to college, use it for whatever you want, and you can improve the quality of lives of others and yourself, which is really cool. And so our last personality code is going to be our knowledge guys, our Ks, and they have a completely different set of values. So the green here represents green technologies and Excel spreadsheets. So I want you to think of the light bulb. The light bulb represents ideas about the Ks because they often have bright and innovative people. They're the smartest people in the room. They engineered the box, right? They engineered the box. So what do the knowledge personality types value? Well, they value learning and intelligence and logic, self-mastery, technology, research and development, science, universal truths, expertise, competence, accuracy, and the big picture. These guys love inventing, which means that these people have a completely different set of process in the sales process. And here, it's critical to understand what a knowledge type goes through to make a buying decision. Let me ask you a question real quick. Okay, so how long do you think it takes for a K or a knowledge to make a buying decision? Right? Let me give you a hint. It starts with 4 and ends with ever. So it takes forever for them to decide. The knowledge personality, often they really get stuck in the proverbial analysis paralysis. They often overthink a situation so much that the buying decision may never happen if you don't help them along. So how do you move this kind of person through the sales process, and how do you accelerate the sales process? Well, we actually cracked the code. We figured out scientifically how to sell to all 4 different personality types. We know exactly how to sell to each personality type by appealing to the documented triggers and avoiding the known tripwires. And we teach you that in and out of our training. So when it comes to greeting, we've shared all of them with you so far, right? The blueprint's a handshake, the action's a high five, the nurturing is a hug. But when it comes to the knowledge, what do you think their preferred greeting would be? Here's a question for you. Do you think they even like to be touched at all? The answer is no. They prefer a simple nod, but that's a little difficult to portray in an image. So when looking for another way to illustrate a greeting that doesn't involve touching, we found a great one from Star Trek. And it's called the Vulcan Salute. And it doesn't involve any touching whatsoever. And it acknowledges them and greeting, and it gives eye contact. Now, of course, we are just having a little fun here. But the truth is, the Ks, they don't prefer to shake hands, and they feel much more comfortable presenting a business card. So this goes to show that just every single personality type has unique requirements and unique triggers and tripwires when it comes to the sales process. Now, here's a great story about one of our clients. His name is Joram Boltenester. And he's actually an IT consultant, and he's also certified as a DISC trainer. And he's been certified for over 20 years. And he actually taught the personality types of DISC to his clients, and he's been doing that for 20 years, like I said. So when he first discovered Bank and he first heard about the system, his first thoughts were, oh, yeah, I already know this. It's the same stuff as DISC. But 10 minutes into the presentation, he thought, wait a minute. I don't know anything about reverse engineering personality science to code prospects. And he definitely wanted to learn more. So he became a client. Now, he says that Bank gave him the quantum leap advantage over any other system he studied. He said it was an absolute no-brainer. Now, Joram was in the sales. He was actually in the process of changing his path to becoming a full-time trainer. But to do that, he wanted to sell his IT business. So his IT business was up for sale. Now, having learned Bank, he figured he should apply, right? He should apply what he's learning, right? These new Bank coding skills. And he was able in the negotiation process. And it worked. You see, Joram was able to increase the sales value of his business by $30,000 just by applying the Bank system to his negotiations. This means that he actually made $30,000 in 15 minutes. So think of the power Bank can do in communication, in the sales process of negotiations and closing sales. This means that tens of thousands, of hundreds of thousands, even in some cases, millions of dollars in a single year over the course of a lifetime by making the difference with Bank over any other traditional sales process. Now that's the conclusion of the introduction. So I gave you to all 4 personality codes: blueprint, action, nurturing, and knowledge. And what I want to do now is move forward and ask, what's your code? Okay, so in the comments, I want you to write, how many of you think that you're a blueprint personality type? Go ahead and write blueprint in the comments. How many of you visualize yourself as an action personality type? Go ahead and write action in the comment box. Now, how many of you feel that you're a strong, nurturing personality type? Go ahead and write nurturing in the comments box. And then how many of you know that you're a knowledge personality type? Go ahead and write knowledge, or K, in the comment box below. Oh my gosh, look at all of you guys. There's such blueprint, action. There's such a variety. There's such a mix, right? There's only 4. We got everyone on here tonight. Yay! Now, how many of you think that you might actually be more than one personality code? Well, you'd be right. Because here's the thing. Every person is all the personality codes. We just have different amounts of each one. So if you look at the screen now, there's actually going to be 24 different codes. And what that means is that if you break it down mathematically, you have a 4% chance of having the right presentation for your prospect versus the wrong presentation, the wrong code, and you're giving them the wrong presentation. So what we discovered and what we developed with Bank is a way to crack the personality code in less than 90 seconds and to be able to get it right every single time. So how do you determine what your prospect's Bank code is in less than 90 seconds? Well, I'm going to show you in our technologies, and I'm going to show you why people are becoming clients of Bank, as well as I'm going to invite you to subscribe to this so you can dramatically increase your business and your income. You see, if you want to close the sale and you want to crack their entire code, all 4 positions you want to crack. So you can use a few guessing tactics, look for clues, ask questions, and we actually teach this in our advanced course. And that's what the art comes in, right? Remember how we talked about the art versus the science? Well, here, you're going to be able to dance around and try and figure out their code, but watch how we can use science to figure out exactly how to crack the code in less than 90 seconds. You see, your customer isn't going to give you all day to figure it out. They're not going to sit there for all your questions and sit there for like 30 minutes. They're not going to do that. They got things to do, places to see, people to see. But if you could get your customer's code in less than 90 seconds, that'd be the holy grail in sales. You see, when you eliminate the guesswork combination, you're left with only one real way: to literally ask your customer for their code. So we needed to create a way for the customer to literally give us their bank code. And this is where our tool comes in. It's so exciting. So we actually developed a very unique system to ask your customer for their bank code using a set of 4 bank cards. And these 4 cards, we would simply hand over to a customer, and we'd ask them to do us a favor. We'd ask them to take the cards, look at the cards, and sort them in order from starting with the one on top with the most, which is the one that's going to be most like them, down to the bottom, which is going to be the least like them. We're going to ask them to sort the cards. And we told them that this is going to allow us to serve you better and save us both some serious time. Now, using that simple script has allowed us to have 100% of our customers to participate over the last few years. Every single person we've asked to sort the cards loved the activity. So why? Because curiosity gets the best of them. And secondly, the topic of the cards is all about who? Themselves. So their favorite subject. And of course, the third is actually using personality science in the process. So let's break this down so you can see what I mean. When I ask the customer to look at the information, I'm talking to the knowledge part of the personality code for who wants the information. When I say this is going to help me serve you better, I'm talking to the nurturing who wants to build a better relationship with me. When I say I'm going to save us both some time, I'm going to talk to the action personality who want more time and you want to hurry up and just get to the bottom line already. Now, using this personality science in less than 90 seconds, we're able to crack the code, and it works. It works, you guys. It works like a charm every single time. So let me share with you a very successful story from a gentleman named Darren. Now, he is a vice president in sales at the enterprise level software. He took our course and he got the set of cards. And then a couple weeks later, he called us and said, "I don't think this is going to work for me." And we were like, "Why?" "Well, tell us more, of course, because you'd be the first person this wouldn't work for." We were super, super curious. So he said he's selling a sophisticated software system to enterprise level companies, and his next appointment was with a $1 billion company. So he wanted to ask, should I really use the cards in the boardroom with all the board of directors and the C-suite executives? And we were like, yeah, absolutely. You see, the reason is that the system worked every single time. So what we did is we coached him to say, what to say, when to call us back. And then once he called us back, he was like, "You're not going to believe this, you guys." So he said it worked. I mean, we kind of knew that, but every executive cracked their code and they loved it. And he says that they not only did they not resist it, but they actually had fun doing it, and they were even competitive with each other, peer to peer, right? They're like, "What's your code? What's your code? What's your code?" So even the most unlikely person that you would assume wouldn't be interested in cracking their code loved it. So most important is that he realized that he had prepared the wrong presentation that day. He had one day to complete it, and he was competing against multiple different companies for the same contract. He said that I prepared a K-style presentation because I was selling IT, and I prepared I addressed the blueprints and the actions, making an assumption that they would be at the top of the chart. But however, thank goodness for sorting the cards, because he realized the majority of the executives in the boardroom were actually the nurturing personality type, the one he did not expect. So because of his training, because of the training of the bank training that he's taken, he knew exactly what to do. So he turned off his projector, he closed his laptop, and he delivered a presentation from the heart. And that was exactly what helped him close the sale. You see, he closed a $250,000 contract by simply cracking the codes in the room. We have countless stories like this all over the world, by people just like him, just like you, using the bank cards to crack the code and to close the deal. But now the question becomes, what if the customer isn't in front of you? What if you're on the phone with your customer? What if they're around the world simply over the internet? What if you are previewing their Facebook or LinkedIn profile, for example? How do you crack their code? Luckily, the key to the mystery is solved. So you see, we developed a revolutionary, industry-disrupting technology, and it's called BankPass. Bank as in blueprint, action, nurturing, knowledge, of course, and then it's called the Personality Assessment Success System. And it has the ability to crack the customer's code in less than 90 seconds, digitally and virtually from anywhere in the world, and it is a subscription model. So with this subscription model of BankPass, you guys are going to be able to simply drive your customers to your custom mybankcode.com link. So, for example, ours is mybankcode.com/Sarah and Sharon. And it's going to be whatever particular URL you're going to choose. Now, once you send them the link, your customer is going to click on that, and you can send it to them either by email, or if you text message it, either one is going to work on all platforms. You can even put it as an email signature, or you can actually post it on the internet or social media as a lead generation tool. So it's got multiple different ways you can be used. Now, once your customer clicks on the link, they're going to be invited to sort the cards. Exactly like you saw me do before with the physical cards. But this one's going to be virtual. It's going to be online. So what they're going to do is they're going to simply drag and drop these cards with the mouse or their fingers, depending on if they're on a mobile device. And then they're going to put in their information, their like first name, last name, email, and they're just going to hit submit. And so once they do that, they're going to fill in the basic information for free. Now, this is important because this information is going to be kept completely private, first and foremost. Nobody else is ever going to see this. But secondly, is that we're going to send them a gift on their behalf. So the gift that we're going to send them is going to be a custom bank code report. You see, your customer is either going to be 1 out of 24 code combinations. So we're going to be able to send them a customized report that tells them all these amazing things about them using the personality science. But best of all is that it's complimentary to the customer. They don't have to pay for it. You see, other personality systems out there, they charge you anywhere from $18 to $79 just to take the assessment. So your customer loves that you personally are just giving them the gift with no charge, and they can learn all about themselves. But here is where it gets even better. Not only do we send a custom report to your customer, but you also get a report. And wouldn't you like to know what code your prospect or customer is? I mean, of course you would. That's the whole point of the system, right? So imagine getting an email or a text notification that says, hey, your customer or client just cracked the code. Using your link, here is their contact information, here is their code, and here are the top tips to how to communicate, negotiate, and close the sale. Good luck on your appointment and take it to the bank, right? That right there is the holy grail in sales. Having somebody literally send you a report about exactly what to say and what to do on every single sales call will help you eliminate and literally squash the statistics that that I shared with you in the beginning, that 87% of sales reps are not prepared for their appointments, and that another 66% of customers are turned off by your presentation. What if you had the Holy Grail in sales, where you could not only be prepared, but you could know exactly what to say to your customer based off of their bank code? Now you're also going to get access to a whole database that lets you collect all the codes and put it into one centralized location. And you can sort the data and you can say, okay, show me all the blueprints, show me all the action people, show me all the nurturing or the knowledge. And you can segment this if you want to use it in your business, and you can market to them differently in business and create custom sales funnels specific to blueprint, specific to action, which is specific to nurture and specific to knowledge. But in any way, you get all the data built into one simple, easy system. So like I just said, we're going to allow you to segment that data so you can use it to create custom sales funnels, so you can speak directly to your prospect's code, directly to your customer's code, and close all 4 personalities. Okay, so then the question comes, so who is Bank for? Well, basically, we have everyone from salespeople to teachers, to consultants, to speakers, to real estate, to corporate, anybody who wants to increase their sales, to build their business, and to help improve communication. And this is why Les Brown gave us this endorsement. He said that Bank is a game changer for every entrepreneur and sales professional. This system will strengthen your confidence, expand your selling skills, and dramatically increase your income. Here's the bottom line, you guys. If you want to subscribe and you want to study this stuff because you want to take your business and your sales to the next level, and you want to improve your communication with customers and partners and friends and families, then become a member and start Bank Code today. And so in the end, you guys, we're just all out here doing the best we can to change business, to change the world, so we can get involved. So I encourage you to simply subscribe to Bank Pass and become a Bank Pass member. It's so cool. So it's like an all-inclusive type of thing where think of it as an all-you-can-eat type of deal. And it's only $99 a month. The first month is going to be an activation fee of $199, but after that, it's going to be $99 a month. So you're going to get so much value. And so some of the things you're going to get with that $100 a month is you're going to have unlimited bank code assessments. So you could literally code all of your customers, all of your prospects, all of your business partners, all of your direct sales or network marketing. You can code your whole team, your whole family, all of your friends, anybody you can get to code, anybody you can think of. You can crack all of their codes. You have unlimited access to crack as many codes as you want to. But you guys, that's not even the best part. You see, the most meaningful part of this is that we're going to give you exclusive access, your 24/7, 365-day access to the vault, which means that you are going to get access to over 40 hours of recorded training inside the vault. And that it's really going to get you to grasp on the bank and how really understand the 4 personality types and how to communicate with them and how to build relationships and how to sell to them. And we are going to give you more than 40 hours included in the system. Plus, then we're even going to give you some cheat sheets on how to sell to the blueprint, how to sell to the action, how to sell to the nurture, and how to sell to the knowledge. And that is priceless. Now, the total package value, you guys, is almost $20,000 if you bought each individual training separately, of what's included and what you're going to be investing a lot of money into our training, because you have the ability to scale your business digitally and skyrocket more than ever before. And we cap it at $99 a month. And just to create insane value for you guys, insane value for our customers. And now, in the end of the day, you just have to ask yourself that ROI question. Like, hey, is it worth it that I'm going to get more than $99 of value? in my ability to know who people are, why they buy, and what their bank code is. And only you can answer that. Only you can answer that, my friends. But of course, I want to say that to play it safe and say, what if all you learned was how to close one more sale per month? What if all you learned was how one more sale per week? What if all you learned was how to close one more sale per day? How would that change your business? And how would that change your life? Boy, when I say safe, yeah, okay. But what if you could? And we have some great testimonials, and you saw a few before, but I don't want to take up the time to put a bunch of personal testimonials here, but here are just a snapshot of some great results that you can get by just applying this to your business. You can see the results for yourself. And of course, there's Robert Kiyosaki again. We just love him. So he says that most people only get 1 or 2 opportunities of a lifetime. Bank is a game changer, and it may well be one of your opportunities of a lifetime. Now the question is, what's your next step? You see, we're actually experiencing dramatic annual growth per year, and actually we were just in Forbes for our newest AI program that we're getting ready to launch in 2019. And there's even more news because we just partnered with Google and Microsoft. So good things are happening. We're growing each and every year. We're growing so much that we're now in over 100 countries worldwide, and we're continuing to expand. So for those who might be interested in being a part of our business experience, now the Bank Code Affiliate Program allows you to be a part of our business team and earn commissions from our own product line. And this is an affordable option for anybody who wants to start a business or who already has a large sales team or organization. So in the end of the day, you can choose to subscribe if you want to. And if you want to increase your sales and really take your business and communication to new heights, subscribe to Bank Pass for just $99 a month with a one-time activation fee of $199. Now, there is 2 options when it comes to choosing your membership. So option 1 is if you only want to do the Bank Pass. And the second option is if you also want to become an affiliate. You see, the affiliate is someone who know people who could benefit from Bank and who want to add another source of income to their life while helping others. You see, if you want to be an affiliate and you want to join our amazing team, then we have a bundle where you can become an affiliate and buy Bank Pass all at the same time, and it saves you $99. So in the beginning, it'll be an activation fee of $299, one-time activation fee, and then following that, it's just going to be $99 a month for the Bank Pass. Now, the affiliate fee is $199 per year, and it's included in your first year of package right here. So, yeah. We include all access pass to all of our online courses as well. So you get access to the vault as well. Don't worry about that. Now I'm just going to plant a little seed here for a few of you guys. But if you guys are interested in teaching this methodology to others, who if you're one of those people who want to teach and you want to have a great way to add another source of income, and you're interested in becoming a trainer, go ahead and send us an email and we're happy to send you some more information. Or write, I want to be a trainer in the comment section, and we are happy to send you some more information about that. So guys, get started now and take it to the bank. Whether you're just doing Bank Pass and you want access to the vault and the subscription, or you want to do Bank Pass plus the affiliate and earn some income on the side while helping others, or you want to apply and become a trainer and we can interview you and take that process further. Whatever option or road you want to take action. Be an action taker and take action now. Get started now and take it to the bank. And you see, Tony Robbins says this. He says, it's moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. So I want to go ahead and end here, and I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for letting me share this with you. If you're ready to get started, go ahead, then choose the package with Bank Pass or choose the package with the affiliate. Join our team. Or if you want to apply to be a trainer, whatever suits your needs. We'd love for you to join our team and to help us go out there and change people's lives, to improve communication, to help businesses succeed. Because in the end, It's not about how to sell. It's about why people buy, why they buy, why your customer buys. That will impact your business. It's been an absolute honor to unlock the secret, to unlock the science, to unlock the system and the solution for you to take your business to the next level. I've had an absolute ball here with you guys and had a blast. And I hope you did too. And for those of you who are joined our team, welcome. I am so happy to talk with you later on and for you to get inside the Bank Pass and to start unlocking the secrets and learning the science to how to change your life and change your business. So with that said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your night.